Armes versus Ammo Williams goes down this Saturday, and yes, a fight that was meant to happen in late January is now happening, and I'm glad it is happening this weekend because we wouldn't really have much on if it wasn't for this fight. So, kind of a blessing in disguise for boxing fans. I feel like that the fight got cancelled first time round, and now it leads us to this date. And it's an interesting fight. I was always intrigued by it. I thought it would be fight of the night when it was on the Shakur Teo card. It definitely would have been, and I feel like we're gonna have a very, very, very good scrap here. You know, we got Carlos Adames, 24 wins, one loss, one draw, 18 knockouts. Ammo Williams, 20 wins, one loss, 13 knockouts. You know, it's a very bloody good fight that we've got here, to be honest. And I'm going with Carlos Adames to win. I picked him first time round. I'm picking him this time round to win. Yeah, I'm confident he wins. He was looking tight, you know, obviously he was looking very tight at the weight last time round, as we know what's happened. But yes, I reckon it'll be all right. I reckon it'll be all right. I think he will win, and I think I think he can stop Hammer Williams, but this is a fight where I see it going the distance. I see both guys getting success, and I feel like it could be a war at times, but I feel like Carlos Adames will be convincing enough to win a decision, definitely, in my opinion, because we know the pace that Adames can keep up. We know he can keep it up, and let's be real, Carlos Adames is experienced at a higher level than what Ammo Williams is. And Williams, again, very good fighter, as we know. You know, very athletic, got very quick hands. I think works his angles pretty nicely. I think a big thing is though, is I think many people think, oh yeah, Williams is just gonna box his fight at range, but Ammo Williams isn't exactly a guy who just sticks at range and fights. No, he's not a guy who sticks at range and boxes. He likes it mid range. He likes it up close. And we saw in his last fight against whatever his name was, on the Shakur card, against Tosaint or whatever. He was wanting to fight that fight on the inside a lot. And obviously, yeah, he was meant to fight Adames on that day. So it kind of shows, might he want to even stick around in the pocket with Adames? And, you know, you'd think probably won't be the best of ideas to do that. But then again, Williams is quick hands, he's athletic, he works his angles very, very well. So it could be interesting if he does that. Plus, he's the southpaw. But as he is the southpaw, you would expect him to work behind his jab a lot because I feel like, I mean, even if they are mid range, you'd expect Williams to work on his jab, work with his jab a lot because it would give him a big advantage if he does really get that jab working and really get it going. It could be very awkward and very hard for Carlos Adames to figure out 100%. But if we look at, you know, the strengths for Carlos Adames winning this, again, he's very good to the body, and the Carlos Adames game is fighting on the inside, and punches come from all sorts of angles, and he's got very, very, very good volume and a very good pace which he can keep up for a full 12 rounds. Look at the pace where he just stuck it on Hamza Shiraz for a full 12 rounds, didn't gas at all. I think again, Williams brings a different style to Adames, which I think stylistically is probably more difficult for Adames than what Shiraz was, even though, yes, Shiraz beat Williams, but styles make fights. Um, you know, he like, very strong on the inside. He's a very strong guy, Adames. And again, good to the body, good upstairs, and can really break you. But he can be outworked by movers, and that is what Ammo Williams is. Ammo Williams is a mover who is going to be working angles a lot. And it's going to be interesting to see if Ammo sticks behind that jab or if he is happy on the inside. I feel like he'll try and figure it out, but I think Williams has got some. I think he has got a good boxing IQ. Offensively, I think he's very smart offensively. I feel like he will be able to get success here against someone like Adames. Adames is someone who we can get success against. I feel like again he'll be easier to get a success on than what it was against someone like Hamza Shiraz. Because again, he can be worked out by movers, and Ammo Williams is a mover at mid range and will be getting that jab going and will make it difficult. But Adames can make fights into wars, but again, we know Ammo Williams can be in a war as well. So I feel like that is something which again makes something that makes things very interesting. But yeah, we look at Ammo Williams again, good footwork. He's very fast with his shots, and again, he can fight at range, but I feel like he's much more of a mid-range guy than he is your sticking behind the jab at range. He's much more of a mid-range guy where he puts his shots together well, gets a short jab flowing quite well. But again, I feel like he's just got fast combos on the inside, likes to get in, likes to get out. But when he is on the inside or at mid-range, very smart with the shots he picks, and he's very good with his angles. Southpaw angles as well, which could be the odd thing that he shows Adames which he hasn't seen before. So again, that's interesting. But I think a thing which is massively going to cost Ammo Williams here is his defense. And we saw in his last fight, obviously, yeah, people say, oh, it's boxing. Yes, it is boxing. But when you're getting caught like how he was against Toussaint or whatever his name is, caught that big, caught that much by the same shots, he wasn't. Williams a lot of the time wasn't able to read him, and Adames is a difficult guy to read. And again, that's why I said about Williams. He's very smart offensively. Defensively, I feel like there's a lot of holes there which Carlos Adames is going to look at and absolutely love, and will very likely, most likely, be able to dismantle that defense of Ammo Williams. But again, he's smart offensively, Williams. He's very good. I really like, how smooth his shots are offensively. But defensively, I feel like he's pretty static. If he's not using his footwork, I don't think he's got much of a defense, which I think is very bad when you're up against someone like Carlos Adames, because his accuracy is good, his speed's good, his unpredictability is good when he's throwing from awkward angles. But a big question is with Williams as a southpaw, how is Adames going to be able to get those angles working? It's definitely going to take him longer to be able to figure out. But I feel like it's a very interesting stylistic matchup. But it is one which I do believe Carlos Adames is going to be able to win. I think Williams could gasp, and I feel like Williams is eventually, as we go on, going to be there to hit for Adames. And Adames, I see, is only going to grow his way into it as we go. I think Williams is going to be able to get success early on. And I feel like, it's going to be a competitive fight. But I feel like the longer it goes, the more Adames is going to settle and the more the fight's going to be at the pace and it's just going to be where Carlos Adames wants to fight. And I feel like that's where it's going to be won for him. And if he is able to force Williams to be on the inside, which I feel like he will be able to, because, Williams likes to fight on the inside, but I think eventually Adames will figure him out. And I feel like we'll be able to beat him down to win a decision. That's my opinion. Anyway, thank you for watching. Speak to you on the next one.